And we are live.
Yay! Great. Are you here, Beverly?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Nice. So, how are you?
I'm doing great. Quite hectic period. Close of the yeah. Even though
I have that too.
Yeah, even though it's Corona, it's still a bit hectic because you want to close some cases and also enjoy the holidays as how far we can enjoy it with 3 people at home. But yeah. It's quite hectic.
Yeah, it's basically like the assignments and maybe also finance, right? Yeah. It's basically every entrepreneur in the end of the year.
You want to close very well. So you're trying to finish up with your current clients, thinking about your prospect clients and your next year targets. So it's a lot at this moment.
Yeah. And do you already think about your plan for 2021? Already?
Yeah, of course. Actually, before at the close of the year, like 3 months before, you're already planning for like what's going to happen in January. You know, in life, you don't plan such things, but for a company, you should. So I've already been planning out what I'm going to do next year. And so it's a lot. I'm putting some high things on myself. I'm like, how am I going to manage all this? But we just see what time brings.
Wow. Okay, well, let's start from the beginning because otherwise, you know, we're talking about plans and ambitions and everything. So first things first, could you tell us and our viewers who you are and something about your company?
Okay. So I'm Mevlia J. Benjamin. I'm a consultant in Mevlia J. Benjamin Consultancy BV. What do I actually do? I build businesses from scratch and I also give legal advice to businesses. But because of the Corona, I changed it from businesses also to individuals. So my background is law. I did my first degree is in law and my second degree is in corporate law and finances. So that's the reason I switched over from where I was currently. I was first working at a bank to my own business. Next to that, I also write books. That all started with like a whole thing of my past that started. So I didn't know I could write. So I started with a nonfiction book, and then I started writing about actual incidents, what we are living in current society and what we're seeing around the world. So that's me.
And you live in the Netherlands, right?
I'm living in the Netherlands in Den Haag.
The Hague. Okay, great. So just to get like, how did you start your company?
So I was working in one of the major banks in the Netherlands and I was tired of the corporate world. I was like, you know, you're doing what you love doing actually, but you don't get the fulfillment out of it because you're servicing your boss, not the client itself, because at the end of the day, we're only looking at targets and how to make profit. And that is something I was feeling like a number in a big company. It doesn't carry. If you're not there, another person is there for you to do your work. So that's the feeling I was like, nah, I need something more, but I didn't know what I needed. So one day I was so depressed. I went to work. I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm done. So I called my manager and I told my manager, you know something, I can't do it anymore. This is not me. I am a passionate person and this is killing my passion. So in December, I quit my job. Like 2 weeks, I said, no, about over 2 weeks, I just want to quit my job. I'm not gonna.
Did you already know like, okay, I want to start my company, or was it that you just know that this is not for you, corporate world, and you're doing something else?
I didn't knew when I wake up that morning that I was going to quit my job. I wake up, I went to my work, I got so depressed and I was like, I'm done. I called my manager, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to go on holidays. About a week from now, I'm not coming back. That's what I told her.
Wow.
Did I have a plan? No, I didn't have a plan. Did I have money saved up for my company? No, I didn't. I went to the holidays, and when I was in my holidays, I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because I'm a mom, yeah. So actually, you do need to have a plan, and you know, you
Yeah.
have bills to pay. So I went on my holidays, I took a break, came back to life, and I was like, okay, what's next? Okay, I have my degrees, I'm knowledgeable. So why don't I start a company? And I had my books and stuff. So I really wanted to do something with my books, but obviously you're not gonna be an overnight superstar by writing books if you don't have
So
the
you already were writing books when you worked at the corporate?
Yeah.
Ah,
My
okay.
first book was launched in 2017. So yeah, that's where my first book was launched, and my second book was launched in 2019. So I was
Wow.
already writing books before quitting my job.
And
So
so tell us a little bit more about that, because it's a passion, of course. But how did you came up with that idea? Like, I'm going to write a book.
it's not, it didn't start as a passion, to be honest, because I didn't like writing, because I thought I was a bad writer. It all started where I was going through a divorce and I wasn't being heard in the community where I was in. And nobody wanted to hear me, my side of the story. So I was like, you know something, I'm gonna write it old-fashionedly in my diary. Dear diary, that's how it started. So every day I wrote a bit, you know, you get emotional, but then you keep on writing. And at some point it was that big. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was like advising me how to go through and stuff. And he asked me, so how do you carry out? Do you see a psychologist or something? I said, no, I'm not going to any psychologist. I'm just writing everything down. And he told me to send me a piece of what I wrote down. And I said, this is actually a very good piece and it can be a book. I was like, a book? You know, I'm in my high tense of stress at moment. I'm going through a divorce. I have a child. My life is over, and you're talking about a book. So
Yeah.
that's the moment I was like, okay, maybe he is talking sense. So I contact some editors and stuff, and I let them look at my piece of work, my artwork, and they were like, you know, this is quite interesting, and you know, the emotions attached to it, and still looking for the passion to have, like, you know, Will Smith will say the how do you say that? The success of life or something of life. What's this movie's called? Some his movies with
Oh, you mean the story with the sun?
yeah, with the sun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I don't know
it,
the quote, but I kind of remember
yeah.
this. Yeah.
So that's the feeling. I was like, I was still looking to that passion, you know, to enjoy life, having that kind of dream, because my dream was to have a big family, a nice house, a big car, living the life, you know, and it all got crushed in one day. So that's
Mm-hmm.
actually basically what my first book is about. But it's also called My Dream. And, you know, still having a dream after being clashed, and, you know, when the storms of life crush you down, melt you down, like you don't know what to do anymore. So that's where I started writing my first book. So if I don't tell you that's about me, you will never know, because it is my dream to be passionate and be strong and just move on in life. So that was my first book.
Wow.
Yeah.
But how was it? It is your personal story, and you made it public.
Yeah. It made it public. The reason why, I'm just going to say it out loud. You know, the Black community is a community, we don't really talk about our feelings or what we are going through. And I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
make it publicly that, you know, something, things happen for a reason. You just go through it, you stand up and you move on. But if you never tell the story, what you have been through, another person will be thinking that he or she is the only one on this earth having this kind of problems. And how can
Mm-hmm.
another person learn from them of the mistakes that you have been making, or you made in the past? How can another person
Mm-hmm.
learn from it and grow out of it? So it's kind of selfish of keeping it to yourself, actually. That's how I was thinking at that time.
Wow, but that's really strong though, right?
Yeah,
Because yeah.
that's
And
the
how did people react it in your community?
shocked.
Wow.
They were really shocked, because people were like, is she still alive? Is she still, how can she write a book? Oh my day, she's doing a master's. was she not the one divorced? You know, those kind of questions, because I was like, no,
Mm.
it's not the end of the tunnel. It's not the end of the road. You know, life still goes on. And I picked myself up, gathered myself, and I started doing the journey or the things I really wanted to do. So that's why my book was called My Dream. You know, everybody has a dream before even getting married and stuff. And I don't believe,
Mhm.
you know, being in a marriage that your dream needs to be crushed. Your dreams needs to be alive.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. And then some of them really read my book and they were like, wow, this is very deep. And especially some chapters, you know, the emotions, you can really feel it, and it can even make you cry. Like
Mm.
the chapters 12 to 13, I don't read it myself till now, because I don't want to be reminded by what I've been through. You know, okay, it's the past,
Yeah.
it's painful, I know, but
Mhm.
if you keep on dwelling on the past, you will never move on in life. So
Yeah.
I I closed that chapter by writing that book and making it
Yeah.
public.
And is it also part of, are you also a motivational speaker, like using the stories in your book, or is it just, no, it's just, my story, it's a book and that's it?
I do use it as a motivational speak. Sometimes, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you have like clients come into the consult and the business talks turns into a private talk. And then at some
Mm.
point when a business is not going on, you know, because I don't only build business ones from scratch. I also build businesses that are in big mess. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when your private life is in a big mess, most of the times your business is in a big mess as well. So then they will be
Yeah.
talking, and then they will be talking about their private life. And indirectly, I will be using my experience, my short life experience I've been having because I'm quite young,
Mm.
to advise ordinary people. And they really use it. So that's very fascinating to
Wow.
see that, you know, my experience and the book and stuff. Sometimes I just give my book for free to a person, you know, go and read and get inspired to
Wow.
move on in life. And then
So
they
do
will
we
be teaching you.
mm-hmm. So it also connects basically to your consultancy job. Like, oh, if you're like, you need like help with your company, it's basically, it starts with the entrepreneur itself, right?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. But tell me something more about your community, because I just shared that message that we're going to talk on LinkedIn. And what I really liked is also the background and the community. And I learned a lot about also, you know, powerful women doing business, people from Ghana. I'm like, wow, this is such a cool community. But tell me something about it. Like, what kind of clients do you have? If you talk about community, who are those people?
Basically, I'm having a lot of clients of various countries out of Africa, from like
Mm-hmm.
Kenya until Ivory Coast. It's not only Ghanaians I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I think I attract them. And they're like, oh, there's a single woman and a single mom and stuff. So they're like very inspired. And the fact that I keep on going every day, it's a new podcast, a new blog out, and they'll be like, how does she do it? So
Yeah.
that's maybe
How do you do it?
it's called Managing Your Time, Life, and Finances. My first
Wow.
book.
Okay. Okay.
So that's how I attract all those people. And you know, the fulfillment I get out of it is when a person come on consultancy and it's just one question and I give you answers to 10 hidden questions, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know you get that fulfillment, the inner joy that like, wow, she really helped me. Or you have been in a situation for like past 10 years and you don't know how to solve the situation, coming to me and then I can solve it in just 2 weeks. But it's a talent. That's a talent. I don't know where I get it from, but that's me.
Wow. Could you give us like one of the success stories about, someone that came to you with a problem and how
Yeah.
you solved that?
There was one lady who was having a tax issue, and she was owning the tax office over 17,000 euros, which
Oh.
the tax office told her, and she was fighting them for the past 4 years. But you don't fight with a tax office. But
Mm-mm.
okay, she needed to
You
pay
tried.
five. Yeah, you
Yeah.
try. You need to pay like 570 euros a month. She's having 4 kids and she's a single mom and she can't
Wow.
pay that. But they were like, you know something, you own us and we want our money. I wrote
Mm-hmm.
2 letters and one phone call, and she doesn't have to pay anything anymore.
Wow. And why is that? Is that the knowledge? Like because I hear a lot about entrepreneurs and then having like a huge mess with the tax thing, belastingdienst, those kind of things. But where does the problem come from? Is it like knowledge, lack of knowledge, or is it just that um
It wasn't
what
not
would
lack
could
of knowledge.
hmm
We are living in a world where there is a system, and the system, when you own a person, you pay up. But if there is no money to pay up, how can you do it? And if there is a change of circumstances, we are human beings. Without humans in the Netherlands, you can't
hmm
pay taxes, and the country cannot move on.
hmm
So, for instance, you are charging her 570 euros and she's earning 1,000 euros a month. At the end of the day, she's going to be homeless. Is that what you want? Why can't
hmm
we sit down and talk about the issue and come with a reasonable paying plan? That's what I asked them. And they came with a plan. You don't have to pay anything
Wow.
because it's not
But that
reasonable to charge you, whereby you have 4 kids, 1,000 euros a month. We are in a Corona season. How are you going to pay that?
wow.
It's a
So this
very
is like you saved her whole life and her family. Like
the real life. Yeah,
because the pressure, if you like the pressure of having debt or like having to pay such a huge amount can crush you. Like right, it's a huge burden.
Yeah, it is.
If you have kids.
Yeah,
Wow.
talking about suicide. I said, you know something. I know about
Wow.
suicide because I was talking about suicide when I was going through my
Mm.
course. I said, when you kill yourself, the debt will go to your children. Do you know that? And she was like, why? Have you insured yourself? There is an insurance policy you can make, and then the debt will be how do you say it? Kwijtgescholden.
Yeah. Like it would be you don't have to pay it anymore
Yeah, you
because
don't
you
have to
died.
pay it anymore,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So she couldn't afford insurance because her debt was quite high. And before you can get that insurance, they need to look at what kind of debt do you have at the moment. So
Yeah.
I was talking to her, killing yourself will not solve the issue because you have 4
Mhm.
kids. What are they going to do without a mother, whereby the father is not there anymore? And she was
Yeah.
like, you're making sense. But what can I do? I can pay it and they want to kill me. I'm going to be homeless and we're not going to have enough food. I said, something, you just pay what you can pay me and I will solve your issue. You can't solve my issue. I've been fighting them for 4 years, So if you don't trust the process, then I can't help you. So it was all basically starting with the trust, having the
Yeah.
trust. And I know having a trust in a system that doesn't always work is hard, but she needed to trust me first. And then she
Yeah.
trusted me with all her details, whereby I could do it all on her behalf. So she authorized me to do it all in her behalf. And after that, we didn't even have to go to court or something. It was solved in
Wow.
6 weeks.
Wow. And her reaction, of course.
She was crying,
Yeah.
crying and thanking me a lot.
Yeah. It is but it is a huge thing you did, and not as an entrepreneur, but also as a human being, right? Helping another mother, and also making a difference for her kids.
Yeah.
Because now she can focus on other stuff again.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a
Focus.
really cool story. So, and tell me more. So, what else do you do with your company?
What I also do with my company, I fill in that next to the taxes, I also do the bookkeeping. I did a bookkeeping of a big school here in Den Haag for the past 5 years because they never did it. So that was quite huge. I also
Mm-hmm.
help on immigration matters if you have an immigration problem or how to get yourself through the system. The Dutch system is quite complicated, so
Mm-hmm.
helping you and consulting you on those sites, that's very important. And
Yeah.
I can also consult on how to get out of that circle of life, going to work, coming home, have a meal, go to bed, another day, standing up, going to work, having a meal, coming home, sleep. That circle of life, like a lot of people. So
Yeah.
how can I open my business if I don't have the money?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do? I said, with this small amount, you can start with this. You don't have to have a lot of money to start a business. You just have to have the faith and the strategy, a good business plan. I
Yeah.
started out of scratch. So yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
what is having a network very important,
I
do you
didn't have a
think?
network.
How did you build one then? How did you like find your customers?
It all started with putting my company out there, registering my company at the Chamber of Commerce. After that,
Mm-hmm.
I announced it on LinkedIn. And then
Mm-hmm.
people started like sending me private messages. So what do you do? Can you help me with this? It was not like I don't have a network as in business partners and something like that. No, I didn't have that. But I did have like people who knew me, or like people on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn, who are just following each other, just checking up on each other. So that's how it all started. And it was really on mouth to mouth. Oh, have you
Yeah.
heard she has opened a company and she's quite good? That's how it really spread it. So after that, I was really professionalizing my business, put it on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, having a PR, putting on Twitter, Snapchat,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. And that's how it really was moving. And now you are really looking for business partners, and you start from somewhere to get somewhere. Yeah, you don't start from 1 to 10, you start from 1 to 2. It's a gradual
Yeah.
process. So that's how I
Yeah.
really started.
Wow. Yeah, because I also see cool stuff passing by about podcasts, and I think you have every week a new like podcast, but also
Okay.
like various subjects like buying a house, or some very important finance issues. Because of what I also noticed is that so there's now a documentary on TV about women and finance, and that a lot, like more than half of the women in the Netherlands are depending on their partner for income. And it's a huge problem when you get a divorce, of course. But also a lot of stuff written about finance is very masculine, or a lot of women don't really like to, understand finance, or it's very difficult. And what I do like is that you create like podcasts and like an easy way to inform people like how to take the right steps, for example, to buy a house or to buy
Yeah.
a house abroad. And how do you come up with all those subjects for the podcast?
Quite a deep thinker. That's the first thing. And I love to read and get information. That's why you're a consultant. You need to know everything. So that's
Mm-hmm.
really, and the things that what I do is the problems in the society is something I pick out of it and write either a book or a podcast or a blog on it to
Mm.
easy to make it easy and on and open for people who really want to know more about certain things. Because going to the bank, the first consultation at the bank is most of the time free, but the first time you don't understand anything. So going there for the second time, an hour rate is like 325 euros excluding tax. As a
Wow.
starter, you don't want to miss that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problems I was facing when I was buying my house. So because of a lot of young people in this country, it's very hard to get a house. Thank God that the government is changing some laws for next year ongoing. But those of kind of things, I was like, why can't I just easy and open it up for them and make a podcast or something that is easy to read or easy to listen to, so that at least you have the basic information, you know what to do. And that's really what I really wanted to do for doing back to my kind of people or the community and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's really for people, on the low budget, having it tight, but really want to move on, but don't know how to move on, don't know how to fix their life, how to manage their time and stuff. So that's really the reason I started writing the blogs and the podcast. And when I go like into deep conversations or
Mm-hmm.
subjects that is very very necessary, then I write a book about it. Like I wrote another book about how we choose our leaders. It's
Mm-hmm.
about the Brexit talk. The Brexit talk is the main main subject in the book, but I'm really talking about the majority carries the road, how we do that, how we choose our leadership and all those kind of things. Is it both charismatic or how he talks or how he stands, or is it really the information or the guidelines he wants to bring to the country? So those are kind of things that really catches my eye, and then I want to write a book because I want to people have the knowledge and open their eyes to know that you can change the world by changing yourself and how you think about certain things. We can be standing out there on a puppet and screaming all kind of things, but knowledge comes by reading books. That's what I know. So that's where it all started for me.
And do you, because I saw a question popping by in the chat, do you have like a role model?
Oprah Winfrey.
That's really cool. And why?
I look up to her. She started out from scratch. She didn't have anything, but she had a dream, she had a passion, and she knew she's gonna make it one day. Even her life really started when she was 30, so I have 2 years left. So yeah, that's really a role model, where somebody I look up to, that no matter how you start in life, ups and downs, you can make it. And she's like a fierce woman, and she's a lady, a bold woman, and she's like, go for it, do it. And working hard, I think, will make me either be like her or better than her.
Great. Yeah, of course. And if we're talking about ambitions and like dreaming big, where are you going to be in about, like, say 5 years from now?
Where I really want to be at 5 years is like either be the head of a very big corporate organization of myself, try to be a media person, have that kind of puppet of followers, to influence them in a good way to better your life, and maybe have a talk show or something, at the back of it. That's really my big aim to be.
And were you always that comfortable with being like, like being an influencer or making your podcast, or not afraid to share your voice, like through a mic and video?
That was actually a problem because I'm very, very open-minded, and I'm a free, easy goer, and like, I want to be on the puppet, telling people what to do. But in the Black community, in the African community, you're like, you need to be a shy lady, sitting at the back of the corner, being married, being quiet and stuff. And that was the problem I was facing. I'm still am facing as a Black woman. And I was like, nah, I can't do this. So that's why I step out. It's like, this is my dream and this is who I am. You accept me or leave it. So that's where the community and the people around me were like, something, we just accept you how you are, because this is who you are and you can't change it. I tried changing myself, but this is what I am. So accepting myself was quite hard, but I learned accepting myself because I can't change it. And I always been that kind of person that I'm quite outspoken and sharing my thoughts on things. And where I find if there's needs to be something to be changed, then I will write it down, either in a blog, podcast, or a book.
Yeah. I think you would also be very great in politics.
I
if
know.
I just listen to you and how you talk, I'm like,
I know,
but
I don't want to
run for elections. No, seriously, because I think that you make a good point about women and women of color. I think there are a lot of women supporting us, but there are also a lot of women, just looking at us and thinking like it's maybe it's jealousy, or maybe it's like, look what she's doing. But I also, I'm very positive. I think there are a lot of women cheering also. Like, you go for it. You give us a voice, right? Yeah. You say the things that we want to say, or you make things better. But politics, might be an interesting thing.
It is an interesting thing, but you know what it is with politics? You need to give some to get some. And I find that quite hard, because I really want to get it and I don't want to give out. So that's the reason I didn't study politics or something, because this is what I want, and this is what it needs to be happening. So if I need to give out and we go for the halfway, and I'm like, something, this is
Like
still not
negotiating.
negotiating. I don't like those kind of stuff. It's like, this is what it is, and this is what we need. Help us or not. and then with politics, it's halfway, and I was like, nah.
Yeah, true. But I think politics needs the type of leadership you have, like strong female entrepreneurs who help each other, because you are also someone who helps people a lot, because you find that very important, like a sort of purpose or mission.
Yeah.
So it's you have that social side too, to make things better for other people. But what, you might never know what will come or what will happen in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about those plans about 2021, because I was thinking about it too. Like, I'm of course director of Venture Cafe. We're thinking about plans, but it's also a difficult time, right? Because it's COVID. Like, everything is unsure. The future is unsure. How did you how did COVID treat you, like, in your company? What was the effect, and how do you make what kind of plans did you make for 2021?
Initially, let me start with the basics. When you make a business plan, you have the bad side, the ups and downs in it. It's not always going to be rosary. So when I was making my business plan, I didn't oversee that COVID-19, something like this can happen, but I did oversee, like, you can be having a very hard time. What am I going to do if I'm having a hard time? So I had that kind of plan in the background of my head, like, if something like this happened, I would just do individuals as well, not only companies. And that's what I did. I just switched very easily from another day to another. It was like on the 16th of March, it was officially announced we are in a pandemic. 17th of March, I went to the Chamber of Commerce. I said, add individuals to my list. And that's what I did. So for 2021, because of the publishing and the Brexit and stuff, my books were published in the United Kingdom. I decided to be a self-publisher for 2021. Because one, I haven't had any traditional publishers yet. So, and I don't want to be with a smaller publisher or something. I was like, having the money itself and reinvesting it in my own company, it would be better off than investing it in a smaller company, whereby at the end of the day, your royalties will not pay off what the effort you have been making. So that's one of my goals for next year. My books are very central, and trying to get partners on my first book to either launch like a big movie out of there. That's very important, because if you read the book itself, it looks like some Nigerian movie or something. My life was like a whole movie. I told myself one day, I'm in a very bad Nigerian Nollywood movie. So it's like, that's the feeling I was having. It's like, is this me? Is this my life?
Oh my gosh.
So that's the two big aims for me, to get that out and get my books. So this year was really getting Beverly J. Benjamin on the map, getting people to know me, who am I, what are my services. And next year we're just going to brighten it up and do even more on it.
Wow.
So, and if everything goes well, I might launch my third book as well.
Wow. You have a lot of energy, like writing and blogging and podcasting and helping people. And
I've been told to shut up for a long time.
Where did you, but how do you, like, of course it's a question that I basically want to ask everyone, but where does that energy come from, that you have all those, that you're doing all those stuff?
My motto in life is like, the sky is your limit, but the sky doesn't have a limit. You move on until you get what you deserve in life. And if I'm not there yet, I will not stop. That is that's my aim. If I'm not there yet, I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah, great. And do you also want to, like, help other people maybe, like, publish books, or is it more that
That's on the planning for next year, April. I'm gonna give out online meetings. I don't think that with the corona it's gonna be an event or something. So it's gonna be online meetings. How to write a book from scratch. I'm gonna give guidelines. It's gonna be a small group sessions because I'm a person when I have a lecture or something. I don't like big groups. I love small groups and have that, intimate contact with a person lecturing you or something. So that's really what I also want for the group of people that will come to me in my meetings. So that's going to start from April 2021.
Wow. And who's your target group? Like, who would be the people that you want to like target with those?
Women.
Yeah, women.
Young women, women who have a dream, want to be financially independent, those kind of group of people. But it's basically going to be women. I think it's going to be more women than men. It can be men as well. Why not? Well, okay. I think it's going to be women. That's my group. It's like around the age from 25 to 37 who really want to have something in life. Like, I'm going to be a pensioner on my 40s and I'm going to enjoy my life. Or something like that. People with that kinds of aim and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And is it like the majority of your target group now is also women?
No, actually not. The male are quite more than the females. Or is it that the males are sent by the females? That's possible as well. Because most of the times when they are sitting there, they are talking about their wives. So I think they're sent by the females. Yeah. Yeah, most of them are talking about their wives or they had a breakup with their wife and actually they want to reconcile, but they are going through a divorce and the business and a whole kind of thing. So then you'll be like, okay, but actually you're not here because you want to be here. You're here because actually something sent you to be here. But okay, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, every behind every successful man like is a more successful woman. So
yeah,
it's kind of wow. And so the plan. So next to those sessions, it's also basically maybe about growing your consultancy, like part of the company, of course.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of people now coming because of Corona problems, like with their company?
Yeah, a lot, and it's quite sad, people who have been working like for the past 10 years or 15 years to lose their company. Sometimes it's good to sell a part of your company, but sometimes you are in a too big of a mess to solve the issue. So then we need to file for bankruptcy. And it's quite sad. But on the other side, it's quite relieving for the person as well, because the stress, at the end of the day, if you pass on because of stress or you get into a depression, your company can be in assistance anyway. So get yourself together and then do a restart. Ending a company is not always the end of your life. Sometimes starting over again with a new motto, with a new slogan, with a new goal and stuff, it's better off than staying where you are, because sometimes you haven't been, technology moves every day. And if your company has been hanging somewhere in 2010 and we are in 2020, moving to 2021, you're not going to make it. So if Corona, if you don't have the money to form your company to this tech thing, you can't make it. It's going to be hard.
So failure is it's not failure, but it's more like you just are reinventing. Like,
it's failure when you stop.
Yeah.
It's failure when you stop. If I have stopped, you will never have a conversation with me. Maybe I've been inspiring another person online or something, or inspiring you. So if I have stopped, it would have been a failure, but I'm not.
Yeah, true.
I'm a motivation. And that's what I do for them.
Yeah, I think also I try to look at Corona very positively. Like it's a big pandemic, but it's also a way to pick up opportunities, because there are a lot of opportunities out there right now. And it's basically doing it now and then after Corona, or when everyone has like all those vaccines and it's safe again, like you build up already a huge
Yeah.
thing, right? Yeah, but I think now you will figure out, or you will see more if you have entrepreneurial talent or skills or not.
Yeah.
Because, right? And do you believe, I'm wondering that, are you born with the talent of being an entrepreneur, or can you learn entrepreneurship?
I didn't learn the entrepreneurship. So I think I was born with it because my mom is not an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, and my dad is not an entrepreneur either. Neither is my brother. So I think I was born
Mm-hmm.
with it. I didn't learn from it. I didn't watch any soap series or something. It's like I can't work on a corporate level, so I need to do something else because the bills needs to be paid. So it's not that. No, I didn't learn it from anybody. And it's not like I read a book of Oprah Winfrey of something to learn how to create a business.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't do that. I
It's
didn't.
just already like a part of your talent and
Yeah,
character to, like roll up your sleeves and just do it, or
just do
because
it.
you took action, right? You were bored working at a corporate. A lot of people get sick, right? They get a burnout
Yeah,
working at a corporate, or we get them often at Venture Cafe, which is a good thing. I think it's like a place where people come and they're talking about how they're thinking of starting a company, or maybe like moving on. I call them corporate refugees. So it's basically like you're fleeing from, the corporate life, and those people are very talented because you're sometimes the age is they're older, they're more
yeah,
experienced, so they have a lot of good things going for them to start a company.
yeah.
But I like it when they come to Venture Cafe and just trying to figure out like, okay, when to go or not to go, or how to do it. But we see them often, corporate
I have
refugees.
those
Yeah.
colleagues at the bank as well. I have a colleague friend. He was like a very good wine taster, and he was a
Mm-hmm.
collector of good wine and um, liquor. What was it?
Nice.
Whiskey. Yeah, whiskey. And he had a whole collection. I was like, you have been collecting it for the past 40 years. Why don't you open a small liquor shop or a wine tasting,
Yeah.
or you just something, or advising? And he knows each wine, which wine that goes best with a meal. Why can't you create
Wow.
something like that, like a web shop or something, like, when you have a wedding or something, this is gonna be the
Mm-hmm.
best wine if you want this kind of
Yeah.
atmosphere or something like that. And he was like, yeah, you're talking sense, but
It's too
sometimes
much work. I'm tired.
I'm tired. I don't know where to start. And I'm like, you're an
Wow.
accountant. So
Yeah.
what do you mean? We are being managing like more than hundreds bank accounts of various of big companies. So
Yeah.
why can't you open one for yourself? It's like, yeah, Mevly, I wish you all the best. I was like, okay, bye.
Yeah. Well, Beverly, I'm looking at the time. We have to finish our talk, but what I would like, or what I would love to invite you at a venture cafe when we're like physically open again,
Oh,
to
that would be
maybe do like come and do a talk on female entrepreneurship and just be more visible in our community too. Because I really love the fact that, we want to, of course, encourage diversity also. And I think you have a great community of people that, are more than welcome at Venture Cafe. And maybe we can talk a bit more about, life and your books, and about inspiration, and the corporate refugees, encourage them to take that step because you did it, and other people can do it too. So I would really, I hope that after, Corona and all the regulations are gone again, we can open up Venture Cafe. And normally we have like around 300 people coming over on the evening, all those interesting workshops, discussions, having a drink at the bar. I really miss it. It's been a tough year for me and my team.
yeah.
But I hope to talk to you again and have you as a speaker in our Venture Cafe community. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you for having me. I really
yeah,
appreciate it for your time and the platform, and I will really want to come when all the regulations are over.
yes, I wish that too. I hope so too. No, we're going to definitely do that. because we have to support each other and grow our community, and having a network is so important. So yeah. Okay, thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
everything.
much. Have a nice evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye.